This is a brand new Osprey, and this has been redesigned as a Mark V Osprey. The class is now over 60 years old, and original boats were all made from wood. They then moved on to composite boats, and then it moved to polyester construction boats. This is a real step forward because the class has made the decision to move on to epoxy construction boats, which is stiffer and stronger, and the material is lighter than polyester construction. The Mark IV has been incredibly successful. It was launched over 10 years ago now, and it has won multiple national championships in the Osprey fleet. The Osprey fleet is a really strong racing fleet designed for two-person sailing with a single trapeze. It also has the option to sail 3 up, which is a real change. Most classes don't offer that. The Mark IV's done very well. What we do, however, is we personally sail these boats, and we've looked at changes we could make to improve the boat and make it perform better, last longer, be stiffer, and just more user-friendly as a product. And we've actually employed a naval architect to come and look at what we want incorporating, and he's designed those features into the boat. And that is Peter Hobson of Hobson Design. If I start at the front of the boat, we have incorporated a bow beam that not only takes the load of the spinnaker as the spinnaker comes through the spinnaker chute, but it also allows us to run the rig tension of the boat underneath the deck, so that we lose all compression in the mast from a traditional jib halyard running through the mast, which in turn actually makes the mast more responsive because it's not loaded up from compression in the mast. Secondly, the old boat used to have a full front tank. We've gone away from this full front tank and made a split front tank, and that allows us to run far more controls underneath the bow, and also allows us more room for the spinnaker to come in when we use it. Because it's quite a big spinnaker, we've now got more room for that in there. We've also gone from a single floor to a double floor. Now, we've done this without adding buoyancy in the floor because we didn't want the boat to float higher when it capsizes. But what it's done, this boat is nearly 18 foot long, which means it's got a lot of load throughout it, and putting a double floor in it has made the boat much stiffer right along the floor. So in big waves, it will be much stiffer through the waves and should perform better through the waves. We've also sculpted the foredeck here. It's traditionally sailed by fairly big people as an Osprey, and we wanted to give more room for the crew. I personally sail one of these, and you can see I'm not small. For me, having more room in the crew's compartment is really important because at 6'6", you need a lot of room for you. We've also, one of the things about the boat is that we have a lot of controls in it. And in a Mark IV, the controls work really well, but you end up with a lot of rope all around you. So what we've done is actually build in compartments into the tanks so that we can run all the tails of all the ropes away, and that makes soak away so we don't end up with lots of loose sheets all around the boat. We then opened the transom of the boat up so that if you did ever capsize, getting the water out is much easier. And we lowered it down so that the majority of the water will go straight out the back before. We also put a central spine all the way down the middle of the boat, and that is because on a Mark IV there was always a little bit of flexing in the centre, and this pod that we've put throughout the centre actually stiffens the whole of the back of the boat up. So there's some really big changes in the actual how the boat's designed and constructed. We've also modernised the look of the boat in terms of all its mouldings and everything, but also reduced the number of parts in the moulding. The old moulding used to be made from 7 different pieces. This is now made from 4 different pieces. So as a product that's put together, it's a much simpler product to put together, but it'll also be stiffer and more durable than the Mark IV was. It's been received incredibly well by the trade and also by private individuals. I have nearly a year's order booked for the boat already, and the interest going forward from this show is phenomenal. So it really has taken everybody by surprise.